This is Sarah Mikesell with the Poultry site, and today we're here with Milan Hruby. He is the Director of Technical Services with ADM Animal Nutrition. Thanks for being with us today, Milan.
Good to be here, Sarah. Thank you.
Very good. So we're here at IPPE. Can you tell us a little bit about R&D and how you're sharing some of that information here at the show?
Great question to ask. What we are trying to do is at IPPE to bring some of that research we conduct by our science and technology team, and research which is helping us to understand mode of actions of our products and technologies, and really bring it and test it in the local conditions to understand how maybe a specific feed management condition, maybe even a genetics of our birds are responding to the technologies we are offering in this market.
Very good. And what are some of the topics of the research that you guys are talking about?
So I think the topics we are looking at, or we published our presentations and papers in, are really looking at some of the key issues we hear from our customers. You can probably imagine that we do hear a lot about the feed cost recently. And if we look at the cost of production, 65-75% is that feed cost. And we've seen very high levels of ingredient prices and feed prices. And if we can come in with the technologies which is improving efficiency of using what we have, in the end it's reducing that production cost. And just give you some examples, we have a range of extracts or phytogenics, which typically people look at okay, essential oils, do they do something in terms of nutrient digestibility improvement? And they do, right? We are bringing some of that information to the consumers this week. Other topic, for example, food safety, right? How some of the changes in the usage of antibiotics or even coccidiostats are impacting food safety, and could some of the feed additives be part of the strategy of reducing, present some of the pathogens. And finally, maybe looking at the topic of necrotic enteritis, coccidiosis, and again, how some of the non-pharmaceutical means could help with those challenges.
Very good. And I guess when it comes to producers, right, how does this information kind of flow down to them, and what do they get in the end?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That probably brings me back to why we are coming here to Atlanta and trying to present research which is done specifically in the conditions of this market. Right? We have a great R&D team where they would research or our technology, try to see on the mode of action, right? Try to look at it in different countries, different research centers, but in the end, when I'm coming to a customer and try to solve their issues, their problems, I should understand how the technologies, how those products are behaving in that situation of a US market, right? Mm-hmm. And I think what they can believe or know from us when we come to them with our technology, that those products are well researched, right? They have many years of research, a lot of people behind it, but there are also technologies which have been tested in their specific conditions. So,
right, because every farm is different essentially, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I look at it definitely as a very customer specific approach, right? And many times one solution might be working with this producer, this farm, might not be working with the one, in the neighboring state.
Right.
And understanding what the challenges are, maybe be able to adjust the dose or combine different solutions might be one way of doing that.
Very good, very good. And certainly, we think about a farm, but it's even barn to barn sometimes, right? The problems might be different, and you guys are working at that level. I mean, these farmers, farm operations have lots of problems to solve.
Mm-hmm. And I really like your questions because you are really focusing on the variability we experience in everyday, animal protein production, right?
Yeah.
And although we try to, with our focus and our producers' focus to be really uniform, because that uniformity is important, but there's a variability, right? Things we cannot influence, or it's maybe harder to influence. So being able to bring technologies to them with different mode of actions, right? Maybe even combinations of different technologies, right? I mentioned our organic acids or our extracts, where they might focus on a different part of that problem, because there are so many different problems and challenges. When you combine those, maybe you have a better chance to help in the end.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all the information today, Milan.
Thank you very much for all the questions. Thank you, sir.
Great. This is Sarah Mikesell with the Poultry Site.